November felt like a breeze, but December? For a while it didn't show signs of stopping. A 2.5-day winter blast swept through Arlington this week. We'll tell you how residents dealt with all that shoveling, all the plowing, the driving, and yes, getting a school snow day off to enjoy the snow day sledding. We'll have a complete report. The latest cost estimate for Arlington's new high school is millions over the projected budget. What's the next step now? And what will be needed to bring that projected cost down? And even though Arlington was among the top municipalities to utilize these ubiquitous Lime bikes, it may be kickstands up for this town staple. And if that's the case, why are they possibly leaving town? And what, if anything, will likely be taking their place?
From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington Covered. We're your neighbors, a friend you can turn to. This is ACMi News.
Even though winter begins this month, you couldn't tell by peering outside your window. Hello, I'm Tyler Valancourt.
And I'm James Milan. On average, 1 foot of snow blanketed Arlington over a 2-day period earlier this week. And as ACMi's news director Jeff Barnt found out, whether you enjoyed it or not depended on what side of the snowbank you were on.
The morning hours of December the 3rd, Mass Ave was relatively barren, save for a few brave workers taking it slow on primary and secondary roads. And of course, scores of shovelers and snowplows out in full force trying to keep up with this storm. After a 4-day Thanksgiving Day respite, students at Arlington High and Arlington Catholic had a snow day off this week. All school-related activities, including athletics, were canceled December the 3rd. Mass transit delays were minor along Arlington's main artery as crews did everything to salt and plow, staying ahead of the 2-day-long storm. Lucas Ribeiro began shoveling around the town's CVS on Monday night, December the 2nd. 12 hours later, he was still at it.
And I've been shoveling for more than 12 hours. So we need to keep shoveling until the snow stops.
How's the back doing, Lucas? How's your back so far?
You know, I still need a lot of Advil.
Not everyone needs an Advil, however. Some parents dug their vehicles out early in the a.m. and took the kids to McLennan Park. Some telling us the December snow was just the right elixir to get some much-needed holiday spirit.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's a beautiful day, for kids, for everybody, to do outdoor exercise, right? Outdoor sports. A lot of fun.
Now, have you had to do any shoveling today, or did you dodge that one?
Yeah, we had to dig the car out, right? So, yeah, but it wasn't that bad. Yeah.
So business before pleasure.
Totally. yeah. It's a beautiful day, so yeah.
Town leaders say once the storm passes, it's now imperative for all residents to keep public walkways, fire hydrants, and catch basins clear if possible. And most importantly, hunker down and stay safe. After all, this is New England, and it's now December. And this storm, well, it clearly was the real thing.
We used to live in Canada, so this is what we expected actually. It's
expecting snow.
Yeah.
All right, so the Massachusetts is the tropics compared to Canada, correct?
Yeah, totally. It's mild.
Now that the first winter-like storm of December 2019 is nearly over, the cleanup undoubtedly begins, and that's going to take some days, maybe even weeks for some folks. Weather prognosticators predict that temperatures will be hovering around 40 degrees during the daytime. However, at night, be prepared for any refreeze, and also get used to this sight because this snow is not going away anytime soon. If you have to drive, of course, pack your patience, take precautions on the roads, and look for black ice. Oh yeah, and from here on in, make sure one of these and a scraper is within reach at all times. Why? Well, spring is more than 15 weeks away, and that's well over 100 days. And so it begins. For ACMi News, I'm Jeff Barnt.
We're told DPW crews will be out in the next couple of days clearing parts of Broadway and Mass Ave. Town leaders say clearly this won't be the last of the snowstorms this winter, not by a long shot. If you have neighbors who need your help plowing through all of this in the upcoming weeks and maybe months, by all means, help them out.
Arlington police are investigating a fatal car fire that occurred December 1st. Police responded to a wooded area near Ottoson Middle School after nearby residents heard a loud explosion. Authorities say it was the result of a single car crash. The Arlington Police Criminal Investigation Bureau, Massachusetts State Police, and the Medical Examiner's Office are investigating.
As things stand now, the latest cost estimate for Arlington's new high school is nearly $30 million above the estimated budget. Town leaders say this is not unusual for a project of this size and scope. The extra $29.5 million number includes factors like heating, ventilation, AC, and site costs. The project remains in the initial design phase, which likely means some more fine-tuning to bring that figure down. Arlington's High School Building Committee will spend the next few weeks hashing out ways to do just that. This will likely entail several slight modifications to the current school design without sacrificing what the committee calls educational priorities. Arlington is expected to receive roughly $2 million more in next year's budget to aid students regardless of income level or zip code. This comes in the wake of what's known as the Student Opportunity Act, intended to reshape the Massachusetts school system for the next 7 years. The $1.5 billion K-12 education funding bill aims to update state education policy and close opportunity gaps for all state students. Both the State House and Senate voted unanimously to enact the bill earlier this year. It was overwhelmingly supported by Arlington's state representatives, Sean Garbely and David Rogers.
So big money for education, which benefited the communities I represent, but also the state as a whole. That's great news. I mean, education's the key to the future. Every student deserves a shot at the American dream, an equal opportunity. So. And it's an investment in our future, and I think it's something that has driven my public service and something I've always advocated for. So certainly pleased to see that.
It's general increase funding. It was done through the Chapter 70 formula. We voted on it with the budget in April, and the Senate followed suit with the same numbers, with local aid numbers, so it's a tremendous investment. I know the school committee has strong standards for what they're going to use that money for, so I know it's going to be used well.
Part of the funding will go toward transportation services, as well as additional emotional support and mental health services for Arlington students. See my interviews with Representatives Garbely and Rogers in their entirety by going to our website, acmi.tv, and click on Talk of the Town.
Speaking of money, you're probably spending a bit more for the holidays, maybe even faster than you realize, in this click and it's shipped shopping age. Now here's a chance to slow down and take it all in before you dole out the dough. A new store in Arlington encourages browsing and even sitting and sipping some tea before taking home that something special. ACMi's Assistant News Director, Brenda Mahoney, has the story.
Walking into this new East Arlington store, you may not know exactly what to make of it.
It's nothing obvious.
Browse, purchase, or sit down. Sarah Morgan-Wu is hoping you'll do all three.
It's a place to obviously find things for yourself or others, purchase them. That's what a store or gallery is ultimately, and take that experience, that object, that thing that inspired you in some way home.
Each carefully curated item, the object of stories, says Morgan-Wu, hence the name of the store and the focus of her latest endeavor, having recently returned to the area after years of living in China and working in tea house galleries there.
The next show we're going to do is a photographer who traveled to some of the more remote regions. I never even thought of it as taking a chance. It's just something that's how I want to spend my day. So it seems natural. Why would I not want to share how I spend my day with other people?
Here at Object of Stories, of course, you're encouraged to come in and browse, and hopefully something speaks to you and you take it home. But you can also just come in and connect with the objects here or perhaps other people, all while enjoying a cup of tea.
Maybe that's the pot's big enough 2 people are sharing it, and then you just happen to be sharing it. There's community space in here, and that there's a large table. Eventually, we're going to build what we call a chat bar.
And that chatting may lead to the story behind the objects, that Morgan-Wu knows about them, or may spark others who see them.
That's a lot of times how we engage with each other. It's a memory about something really odd. And it may not even be the actual thing that sparks the memory. If that can be passed along with the object, the thing, to the next owner, that's actually the value of the piece.
A value that Morgan Wu says only you can put a price on. Brenda Mahoney, ACMi News.
There are often new stores and services popping up in Arlington, joining the ranks with several businesses that have been here for a long time. And none should be overlooked, so go ahead and shop local if you can. And now that the Thanksgiving turkey and all that tryptophan are history and you're rushing home with your holiday treasures, you can be helping out some teens to make their holidays merrier and brighter and give local as well.
There are many opportunities to do so at this time of year. Here's ACMi's news intern Harvey Kelly with information on Arlington's very dedicated BSA Troop 306 and how these young people are helping us all get into the holiday spirit.
For the 7th straight year, Scouts BSA Troop 306 of Arlington is sponsoring its annual Troop 306 for Teens Holiday Gift Drive to benefit local teens this time of year. The co-ed troop is collecting holiday items for nearly 200 teens who are served by Arlington's Office of the Department of Children and Families. Suggested items you can donate include winter wear like hats and gloves, socks, art supplies, journals, personal hygiene items, hairbrushes, candies, puzzles, school supplies, and reading lights. Gift cards are also accepted and can be securely dropped off at Leader Bank. You can donate until December 10th at several locations, including Fitness First, Gold's Gym, Leader Bank, St. Camillus, Ottoson Middle School, Stratton School, and the Thompson School. For ACMi News, I'm Harvey Kelly.
Again, you have until December 10th to donate these items. And we wish to thank Troop 306 for their continued dedication to our community.
Coming up on the other side of the break, Lime bikes have been all the rage in Arlington this last year. So why might these green gadgets be pedaling out of town? We'll have the latest on the Lime bike's uncertain future next.
And the Arlington Children's Theater is promising the greatest Christmas pageant ever. And we're talking about in the history of humankind. Should be quite a show. That and more when we come back.
If you see news happening in your area and you have a smartphone, you can see it, shoot it, send it. Make sure to hold your phone horizontally and send us your video. Or share your video with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just look for ACMi News.
Hey, Adelina, how are you? Hi, Meals on Wheels.
I'm Marco. I'm a college student and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels.
I'm very happy I did it. I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. You can tell when you go to see them how eager they are to share their experiences and their wisdom with you. I can see my grandparents in some of these seniors, and when I think about what I want for them, if they lived alone and didn't have anybody to look after them or help them get food, I'd want someone there who does what I do to make sure they're being fed. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Despite its overwhelming success in Arlington, Lime bikes may be peeling out in the spring of 2020. Lime is considering upgrading from the bicycle to electric scooters instead, and that could be difficult for municipalities to accept from a legal perspective. Lime's current contract to provide bikes for the town of Arlington runs through next spring, and it's up to Lime to agree to a new contract. Arlington leaders say if Lime opts for the electric scooters, the town will need to find other ways to keep the dockless bike share program going. The town's capital planning committee is already considering other options to Lime, like Blue Bikes, which is in Cambridge and other area municipalities. But town leaders say that would require more funding for a new bike transportation program, something that could be raised at town meeting.
Now that the Christmas season is here, Arlington's Children's Theater is ready to stage the best Christmas pageant ever, which takes place December 12th through the 14th. ACMi News intern Shayla McHugh has all the details in her ongoing series of reports on Arlington's nonprofits.
So Arlington Children's Theater is a great resource for students in the community who are interested in learning more about theater and the dramatic arts. We have been in the community since 1991, so it's our 28th year. I've actually just started here in September as the new artistic director, and I've been so impressed with ACT as a organization and how much our students become family here. And we do about 7 productions a year, and that runs the gamut of elementary school, middle school, high school kids, and so everyone in the community really gets a chance to be involved.
That's great. So hopefully you have many more great years to come here, as well as ACT. And so you said you do 7 shows a year. How often do you do shows?
It's throughout the entire year. So we've just launched our fall programming. We're doing a high school production of Our Town and an elementary and middle school production of The Greatest Christmas Pageant Ever. So both of those will go up later in the fall. And then we have a winter musical. This year will be Seussical. We're very excited about that. It's a lot of fun. And then in the spring, we'll be doing a high school production of Shakespeare's Twelfth Night and a elementary and middle school production of another show.
All right, sounds exciting. Sounds like you've got a lot on your plate, but I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. How long would you say the process typically takes from the start of auditions and then up until when you're actually putting on the production?
Sure. So an example, we're doing The Greatest Christmas Pageant Ever right now, and we are having auditions this week. We'll begin rehearsals next week, and that will go up in early December. So around 2 to 3 months typically is the rehearsal process from start to finish. And the growth that the students go through in that time is just an amazing thing to witness, and then it's always a great production in the end.
So how can children get involved?
Sure. So if anyone's interested, you can go to act.arlington.ma.us, and that's our recently revamped website. So it's a very exciting time to visit our website, and that has all the information on shows, both for students interested in becoming involved in the shows or for audience members looking to see great theater.
Thanks, Shayla. And for more information, just go to the Arlington Children's Theater website, act.arlington.ma.us.
Despite the heavy snow earlier in the week, there are many activities taking place at Arlington High School as the winter season gets underway.
And we have all your Arlington High School action, so let's turn it over to Studio B.
Welcome to the Ponderscope, your Arlington High School news, updates, and more. Singing auditions for Arlington High School's Tommy will be on Monday, December 16th and Tuesday, December 17th. Sign-ups are on the call board outside the Little Theater. Bring printed sheet music and a pianist will be provided. Please talk to Mr. Byrne with any questions and talk to Miss Bissett if you're interested in tech for the musical. Do you want a chance to show your true gamer colors? Here it is. On Friday, December 6th, the Class Council of 2021, in partnership with the AHS Arcade Club, is hosting a school-wide Mario Kart tournament. We'll be in room 403 at 5 p.m. Entrance is $5, and there will be pizza and snacks provided. All levels of experience are welcome, as there will be a casual corner, along with the actual tournament. The winner will receive an actual prize. Come be a gamer and bring your friends. We hope to see you all there. It's officially holiday season. The AHS Performing Arts Program is hosting its 2nd annual Holiday Collection Drive to benefit Arlington Food Pantry and Arlington Eats in spirit of the upcoming holidays. Collections will be accepted from now until Friday, December 13th. I'm Chandler Betts, and this has been the Ponderscope. Now, sending it over to Nick at the Ed Burns Arena for this week's sports update.
Thanks, Chandler. I'm here at the rink as the girls are taking on Acton Boxborough in a scrimmage as we ease into the winter season. But last Thursday, the fall season wrapped up with boys football taking on Waltham in their annual Thanksgiving Day game, winning by a score of 28-13. But now, we take a look ahead to our upcoming winter season matchups. The girls face off against Hingham on Monday at 6, and on Wednesday, they face off against Notre Dame at 4. There's a doubleheader for basketball on Friday at 5:30, and boys hockey faces off against Melrose on Saturday at 2. and we'll see you back here next week for our regular sports update episode. I'm Nick Antonakis. Back to you at Studio A.
Thank you, Nick. Don't forget to stay with us for all your latest news and sports updates. And that'll do it for us here at ACMi Studio A. I'm Tyler Valancourt.
And I'm James Milan. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMi Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.